What's up, everybody? This is your man DJ Square, not from the DJ Information Group. And we got my man here today. We got a man, he's gonna share some knowledge with us. He's gonna drop and sprinkle a whole bunch from us from Pioneer DJ. We got my man here, DJ and Jay Brannan. He's gonna drop some knowledge on us about what Pioneer is doing. Whatever we got, the questions that he asked that he can ask, he's definitely gonna do that. And man, I tell you, we really appreciate you being here. You could go ahead and unmute yourself, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I'm really looking forward to this.
Yes.
Any info I can give, I'm happy to do so.
Awesome. So in terms of the DJ Information Group, I do want to share that, we're a group of DJs, artists, promoters, hosts, and the goal, and engineers. And the goal here is for us to be able to bring everyone together that's in the group, the members, and continue to grow. But our focus is on the culture, everything about the culture, the DJ culture, the technology, the music, everything. And of course, for us, when it comes to it, the biggest part of the DJ is his equipment. So if he doesn't have equipment, there's not much he can do. So, and that's where, companies like Pioneer come in, because we are big Pioneer advocates.
Awesome.
So, yes, indeed. And it's really, really good to have you so that you can talk to us and share, what's coming up with Pioneer and everything. And we got a whole host of DJs here. And what I'll do is, we'll talk and I ask you a couple questions, but then I'll just immediately turn it over to the DJ panel.
Yeah, that's cool.
Everyone is present. So they can ask their individual questions, because, like I am, I'm not a mind reader. So they may have that question that will definitely resonate with several of us. And we'll be able to obtain that information and have that as something that could be in our mental catalog going forward. So with that being said, you've already told us, it's hot out there in Temecula, California. And
a little warm.
Yes, indeed. And you've shared with us sprinkled some knowledge on us about, definitely about gigging in this particular period in time, which is rough for all of us. But nonetheless, we have to move as much as we possibly can in doing that. But tell me what's going on with Pioneer DJ.
We're doing what everyone else is doing. We're socially distancing. We're keeping ourselves on top of what's going on in the marketplace, keeping up with our customers as far as gear questions and concerns, looking at the future of what is the DJ going to be? Most of us are full-time, active, working DJs. I mean, I'm a full-time mobile DJ. I mostly do weddings. I do other events, but this is how I pay to feed my wife and kids and take care of bills and everything. So, there's a lot of communicating going on right now as far as, what do we need to do to support the industry? And I think that's the biggest question that all the manufacturers have. It's not as easy as just saying, well, just throw gear at people, just do this, do that. So we're coming up with some stuff. We have some things coming up. I can't go into super specifics about some things, but I will say that August is going to bring some new things to us on our social media end.
Cool.
We do have a Twitch channel, and I'll get information as we move forward directly to you so that you can let, everyone involved know what we're going to be doing. But it's going to be really good for the DJ. Again, we're in this together. This isn't that thing where the DJs are hurt and the companies aren't. We're all in this together. So we're looking at the future and saying, what gear do we need to focus on? What do people want? I mean, I know some of the questions that you had asked me. Mm-hmm. And I know what people are already asking, because I get messaged on Facebook every day about, when is the new this coming out? Right. That sort of thing. And, let's be honest, this pandemic has really messed up schedules.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a company that in January said you were going to drop something in May, that may not be till December, because manufacturing stopped and shipping stopped. And, a lot of what goes into the process of making gear has really been affected. Before I worked with the company, I always thought, hey, let's make a mixer, design it, build it, sell it. And it's not that easy. There's a lot of time and effort that gets put into things. People go into manufacturing. You have to do testing. You have to do research. So things do take time naturally. But this epidemic has really changed the landscape of the market. So we are always working on the next generation and updates of all of our products. If
Gotcha.
something is doing well, if people enjoy a mixer, a controller, an app, a player, we're always looking at that and saying, what can we do in the next piece to make it even better? You know,
Gotcha.
that's what you're going to see moving forward from us. We have released some things recently, and we're going to be releasing more things as we go forward. Sadly, I can't go into specifics,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, we're at a time where people are practicing. I'm sure everyone in this room has got a Twitch page now. I mean, I've got a Twitch page.
Yeah.
I couldn't spell Twitch in January. Now I got my own Twitch page. It's like, you know, everyone's going to Mixcloud. Everyone's, you know, we're all doing our thing.
Right.
I go to a lot of these rooms where, you know, people are like, what are we going to do now? I'm like, next Saturday, do a 5-hour set. Just work on your cocktail, your dinner, and your dancing. But there's
Yeah.
no one there. I'm like, but that's when you can make these mistakes, you
Yeah.
know? So that's what we're doing as a manufacturer, is looking to see what do people need from us, you know? And it's, I wish we had a magic wand. We could just wave and say, here you go, everyone. We're good to go. I mean,
Gotcha.
I know you've got people from Philly. Philly announced no concerts, no events, over like 50 people until February or something today. So we have to, you know, bob and weave and adjust as we move forward. And that's what we're really focused on, is making sure that once we do give you new gear, that it's everything you're going to possibly need. And that's actually a benefit of this time, is that we've had a time to stop and say, hey, is this perfect for our end user? Is this what DJs absolutely want? If not, maybe we have a few months to make an adjustment. So everything that gets said in this room tonight are notes that I'll be taking, things that I'll take back to engineers and say, you know what? Here's a group of working real DJs, because that's who I want to talk to. I mean,
Right.
we're going through the same struggles.
Yeah.
You know, we know what a load in is and what a tear down is, and why this gear works better than that gear, and you know, why we want the mic over here and not over here, and why having the headphones up here doesn't work when it does over there. So I love
Right.
getting this kind of information back and being able to give it back to the engineers in Japan, that they can make adjustments moving forward on equipment.
Cool beans. Cool beans. That definitely works. I'm an owner of the Pioneer SX2, and also recently, as of about 2 weeks ago, I finally broke down and got the 1000 SRT. And
Oh, I
that
love that.
SRT, man, I'm gonna tell you, man. When I cracked it open and just starting it out, I did a quick unboxing review, and that was good. And then I did a scratching review, and I tell you, man, just to feel, because I've always wanted those jog wheels, CDJs, man, and I was like, wow, having it all in one unit just made it so much better for me.
That's
And
an incredible piece. We
yeah,
launched the 1000 with Rekordbox 2 years ago, and everyone that saw it at the NAMM show was blown away. It had pad editor with Rekordbox, because Rekordbox has a lighting control program.
hmm
So between controlling lights, the platters, the look, the pads, the size, the price tag, everyone would come in. I'd be like, what do you think it costs? 1900, 2000, 1800, 1799, 1900. And then it's like, no, it's under 1200. So everything about it was perfect, but everyone wanted one thing. Everyone wanted Serato.
yeah,
So fast forward to last August, we go out to Atlantic City, which sadly I won't be there in August this year, which 16 years of going there, I'm kind of bummed about.
yeah. I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, we launched the 1000 SRT, and I mean, people flipped. I used the SX2
hmm
for about 4.5 years. Then I used the SZ, because I was doing a lot of, I know you lived in San Diego.
hmm
I was doing a lot of kind of corporate gigs,
Right.
and they wanted a bigger footprint. So I
Mm.
went to the SZ for about a year. And then when the 1000 SRT came out, I used it last July, right before we launched it. I did a wedding with it, and it was great. We had no issues.
Nice.
And I still haven't had any issues. During lockdown, I've got an XZ. I've been using that once a week, and equally as good, but I used both last week just to do kind of A/B.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you know, there are features on the XZ that are amazing, but it doesn't make the 1000 SRT any less of a controller. I just think for the money, it's probably the best piece in the market.
Gotcha. Yes, indeed. Well, that definitely is a plus there to know that I got the right thing.
I mean, it's what would you change about it? If I said I'll put something else on it, what would you add or take away?
Well, because for me forever. And it's because I'm not a club DJ, because it's obvious that when you start thinking CDJs, you automatically a lot of times think of a club DJ or like a big EDM type DJ. And for that type of setup to be along with the mixer, which is some DJs have mentioned that it kind of reminds them, especially the effects piece, reminds them of the kind of the S9. Um, Whereas to me, I've gotten so used to having those Serato effects that it was just definitely a real change.
Yeah.
But not a bad change, because after I listened at the recommendation of several of the DJs in this group, as a matter of fact, they said, man, compare the Serato effects, like the Serato Echo, to the Pioneer Echo, and you'll see how much more powerful the Pioneer Echo was. Well, they're 100% right. It is. For the short time that I tested it, it definitely felt stronger. It carried better. The post effect was just post faded portion was good. Everything was good there. So it's just a matter of a learning curve at that point. But once you get through that learning curve, I think it's going to be a very, very good piece of gear to continue to do gigs with, and I'm known for doing a lot of gigs, and something like that. It definitely is a plus to have something that I've always wanted, being able to play on it and knowing everything about it, so that I can have the most optimum performance as possible for my clients. So that's definitely where it is with me. And another one of the DJs here that bought it, and he's been playing with it, is DJ said he's Cedric Westbrook. He just bought his too, and he's managed to get a little bit further with me in his use than I have being able to play with it and everything. So I'm quite sure he'll talk to you about that. But that was the only thing that I saw. But that's something that I would say not really a deal breaker at this point. Initially, when I first saw it, I'll be honest with you, I thought it was. But then the more I started researching it, I was like, man, I got to get this unit. And once I got the unit, I was like, wow, it's just a beautiful unit. Just everything about it is beautiful. So,
I mean, I'll be honest with you, that was the first issue I had. I'm really fortunate because as a demonstrator, I deal with a lot of different gear. So even though I work with controllers at my weddings, I deal with a lot of mixers. So I wasn't, I'm not unfamiliar with dealing with the effects on a mixer. But with the SX, firing effects, leaving them preset, where you have 6 different presets as far as volume, what effect it is, what beats it is, that just made it very, very easy. I agree with you on a lot of that. You can MIDI map the effects in Serato too. So you can start messing around. And I've done that with looping because I like to cut the loop on the SX, where you can cut the loops and bring them up and down. So I've taken my 1000 SRT and MIDI mapped the loop button to when you hit it, it cuts it. When you hit it, it cuts it again. And you can do that with the effects. So you could load 6 effects in Serato and then set them up. I only use 2 channels when I DJ, even though there are 4. So you could take your 2 channels you're not going to use, let's say 1 and 4 or something, and go in and map effects to turn, maybe do Q as the fire button, have each one be a different, I mean, you can, as you move forward with it, I think you're going to find you can get even more out of it. But, effects wise, for someone like me doing a lot of weddings, I use echo out a lot. So post fade echo is great.
yes.
I used to be a flanger DJ, so I would get stuck on flangers. Now I just kind of use filter. I'll use rolls sometimes and throw a roll on a different channel. But, the effects are more stuff at shows where you're like, ooh, this. In real life, for me, if they only gave me echo, delay, reverb, and roll, I'd be good.
Yeah, same here.
I don't get that deep into, like, spiral's an amazing effect. If you want to end a track and walk away, spiral's great. The helix, the Mobius saw, where it gives the effect, the sound of going up or down.
Right.
Those are great. And when you use them in the right time, but I've got to find the right track at the right moment to do that, where I bring everything up and then just slam it. So I think if you're coming from a controller, there's a little muscle memory issue where
Gotcha.
you're used to one knob, hit load, one knob, hit load, hit effect.
Hmm.
But like you said, once you're on it for a little bit, I think it becomes very easy. You're
Yeah.
on two different knobs, and then you've got one section for effects.
Cool beans, cool beans. Well, I don't want to take up all the time, so I'm gonna start. We'll let the DJ start asking the questions. And again, like I say, I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no, my
It
pleasure.
really
I'm really
means
excited about
a lot
this.
to us for real.
And like
But
I said, I'll tell you guys anything I can truthfully, but I'd rather tell you that what I can't tell you than make up some lie about, oh yeah, we got you covered. Don't worry. Like it's not me. So
gotcha,
if I can't tell you an answer because I'm not allowed to, I'll tell you. If I
gotcha.
genuinely don't know it, we'll work something out where I can get you the answer and send an email or put it up on my Facebook page or, do something. I'm sure if you track it, we all have friends
Yeah.
somewhere
Oh
that
yeah.
we're tied into the mobile community. And
Yeah.
I probably met people. I apologize. Shows get blurry after a while. People are like, yeah, we hung out one night. I'm like, we could have. Where was it? Atlantic City. I'm like, sorry, I was at Scores till 4 a.m.
I hear that.
You
So
know?
the first DJ I'm gonna introduce you to is DJ Michael E. What's up,
Awesome.
my man?
Good afternoon here, DJ.
How are you, sir?
Welcome to the meeting here. I'm glad to meet you. I'm from
Thank you.
Detroit, Michigan area. DJ
Oh,
Mike.
was out there
By the
last
way,
year from Movement. Love that place. I had my
yes,
first Coney dog down at All
Lafayette.
American.
Was it Lafayette?
It was there's two of them like side by side.
Yes, sir.
It was the one it was like 2 a.m. I went to the one that had the shorter line.
Oh, okay.
May not have been the better one, but we were staying at the Marriott and I like walked by myself over there.
Yes, sir.
On the way back, stopped, got a beer someplace, went to the hotel. Everyone's like, you went where? When? I'm like, it was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, Detroit was great. I love Detroit.
I believe they're going to do something a little different this time.
Yeah.
Tentatively scheduled for Labor Day, I guess, Labor Day weekend. So hopefully we'll see what happens. But probably
Yeah.
going to be online. But
I don't think anybody's doing anything. The only show that's left is EDC in October. And, I would love to get the call that we're going back to Vegas, but it's 120,000 people inside of a circle of a racetrack.
oh boy.
Even Movement, I don't know if you've ever gone, but, you
packed.
can't move at Movement.
Right.
Like
it's
it's
packed in there.
packed. The last year was Rez, Diplo, Dubfire, and then those three, and then the main stage, Wu-Tang Clan.
Yes.
So, I don't need to tell you where everyone was in the middle. Like, yeah, it was a great time. But sorry, but what can I answer for you?
By the way, best wishes out to Temecula, California. I have a brother-in-law that lives out there. I haven't been out there yet, visited him. He just moved out there. So
Oh, you got to come out here. You like wine?
I do.
We get about 50 wineries out here. It's like the biggest wine country area south of Napa.
Okay.
Yeah, we're like 18 miles to the ocean, and yeah, good times.
Jay, I guess what my biggest thing is, just to give you a little background, I'm one of those guys who kind of getting back into the DJ game. I'm vinyl expert for years, a little hiatus from it to raise the kids and all that. A few months ago, I decided to kind of revamp a little bit. So I purchased PLX 500s. And I was kind of struggling with the idea of, I read the stuff about the PLX 1000 versus the 500. And I'm not really sure what's the deal on that. I mean, is it really that much of a difference? Because I mean, personally, I've done pretty good. I'm learning the DVS system, kind of getting familiar with that more, and I haven't had any issues with the 500s. I mean, I like them. Is there any real big difference there?
500s are really nice players, and they give you the USB out to record box, so you can digitally record your vinyl. Like I said earlier, I'm all about honesty. 500s are great at home. I wouldn't do a mobile gig with them.
Okay, I haven't done that. Right, yeah. I haven't done anything.
I think they're great. They're much more of a consumer piece.
Okay.
you've got a much higher torque platter with the 1000s that are made for that, whereas the 500s are much more like a belt drive.
Okay.
So you can scratch, but after the third pull, you're going to find that they're not going to match.
Okay.
And I know somewhere on our website, it kind of gives the impression that they're giggable players. And yes, if you were just doing DBS without scratching, you could. But I think for the long-term health of the actual players, you'd be better off looking at getting some PLX 1000s if you want to gig with them.
Right. Okay.
If you picked them up side by side, the PLX 1000 is probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 pounds heavier.
Okay.
Because it's built in a different manner. It's there to be a workhorse at a gig in any situation. And Temecula, the big thing on the West Coast is weddings want vinyl. They want that old school vibe. The problem I have is, I'm going out into the wine country and it's 100 degrees out, and vinyl becomes kind of and the other night someone said, just get phase. And I'm like, yeah, but if the record starts to warp,
right,
phase should mess up too, wouldn't it? So, yeah, that's the thing. But as far as gigging goes, I'd seriously look at the 1000. It's really designed to be a workhorse of a turntable at gigs.
Great. All right, I appreciate you, Jay.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Michael, absolutely. Hope you see you out here sometime.
I'll try to get out there.
All right, so our next one is our admin, the primary admin in the group. He's sitting over there with the same background as me. And I think you've been in contact with him too, Jay. His name is DJ Rod Flash.
Absolutely.
What's up, my man?
First and foremost, I could thank you for accepting the email. Because I know it went from Pioneer to you, and I'm glad you're here on this call with us. And second of all, I follow y'all on DJ Information News. I follow a lot of y'all stuff, but pretty much I own like the Pioneer RX when it first came out.
Yep.
I play with Record Box. I play it all, but I don't really have a question, but it just thank you again for accepting.
Absolutely. It's my honor. I really appreciate you guys inviting me. I mean, I saw Hector, you guys reached out to Hector, and Hector's
yes,
like,
I did.
You interested in doing this? I'm like, absolutely. DJ's talking about music and gear. Yeah, I'm there.
Thanks. I really appreciate you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
Square Now, you are muted.
Square Now, you're muted. You're muted.
All right, I'm sorry. Now we got my man over there that he kind of reminds me of the Marvel comic colors over there. But that's DJ Dave G. What's up, my man?
Yes.
Yeah, I like the lighting.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little. I got a little switcher here, and it's a little effect that I have.
Yeah, it's dope.
And turn the lights on and get rid of the
Yeah, that's
color.
EDT at 3 in the morning.
And you can see I have the S9, and I was kind of dragged kicking and screaming into the Serato age because I'm an old school DJ. I got turntables.
I see the Tech 12s.
Yeah. So I have to say that, well, first I have two things. I have something to say and a question. So
Yeah.
the thing I have to say is that the service at Pioneer is great. I mean, I bought a used S9. It was barely used. I mean, because it had only been out a couple months. But I got a really good deal on it. So, and then I had some sort of issues where I was having some sort of smell that was overwhelming me coming from the mixer. And so, somebody said, well, why don't you send an email to Pioneer? So I did. And, they said, well, what kind of issue you're having? And I told them, and they said, oh, okay, we'll tell you what, we'll send you a new one and you send us the old one back. And I was like, what? They said, we'll send you a new one free of charge, and we'll send the old one back. I was like, okay, so I have nothing bad to say about Pioneer in that regard.
Good.
What I wanted to know is, are there any kind of firmware updates in the pipeline for the S9 or anything like that?
As far as ones coming up in the very near future, I don't have any information on that. Yeah, I'm thinking of anything I've seen of late, because there's nothing really going on with the S9 right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the S9 has been out for a little while.
Yeah, a couple years.
And, you know, I don't want to take anyone's question away from them, but I'm sure it's going to come up about a new S9.
Yeah, S10 or S9B or something like that.
You know, like I said, we're always working on the next gen, and we're not quite like Apple, where you can look and say, I've had my phone for 10 months. They're going to release one within a year. I'll wait. Like,
right.
We have a little bit of a schedule sometimes if you follow releases.
Mm-hmm. But
I think with the S9, it came out of the box so good and pleased so many DJs. You know, I think it was Jazzy Jeff was involved with it, with design and everything, and he thought it was the greatest mixer ever, and everyone else jumped on board. We had guys leaving Tractor to use it. So when the new, generation appears for that, it's going to be something that's going to be really special, because there isn't much you can really do to the S9 now.
Right.
The benefit to you with an S9 will be when something like that happens, it'll run new firmware that will affect your unit as well and probably bring yours up to spec on some other things. But as of right now, there's nothing that I can say, wait a few weeks or a month and we'll have a firmware update. Those tend to come out directly from our engineers when there's either new features, but also sometimes what is referred to in the industry as a bug fix,
mm-hmm.
where they find something, just like, with Android and Apple, they release a new update. It's not only to give you something new, but it's also to fix things in the background sometimes. Right. And right now, there's really nothing on any of the forums I have here that say, oh yeah, the S9's doing this. So for now, I think you're good. Is everything working okay with it now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good. Well, initially I had an issue where one of the turntables, the loop button up here on this side, on the left side,
yes,
would randomly come on. But I was just searching through the forums, and this guy suggested that you take the mixer back to its first birthday, just reset it, and that cured everything, and it's been fine ever since, and that's been a year and a half.
I think, go ahead. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say it's a great mixer, and I'm hoping that you continue to support the vinyl DJ, because I have nothing against controllers, but just for me personally, I just like the feel of turntables.
Right.
Just the response I get from a turntable is different from that of a controller. And for me, I prefer the turntable. So, as long as you continue to support, vinyl based DJs, even though I use Serato, but I still use turntables. I'm happy with that. So
yeah, I don't think you're going to see any change in the future on that front. When I started in 2003, it was, the CDJ 1000 had really swept away a lot of vinyl, and it had become a great replacement for people carrying crates and things getting broken and lost, and they couldn't fly with their records, and Final Scratch was in its infancy, and that was all new. You didn't see, I don't know if you guys were around long enough to remember, like, the PC Lunchbox and PC Red and PC Blue and like the early days of, like, even going to MP3 back in the late 90s and Napster. And you look at the technology, how much it's moved forward, but it's also going backwards. I mean, I firmly believe if you had I'll make up numbers, if you had a $1,200 wedding DJ package, and then one of the add-ons for $250 was vinyl, I think you'd sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people, younger people, want older things. I have an 18-year-old son. He's had 4 cars since he turned 16, nothing newer than like 1997. everyone wants old cars.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone wants, I mean, the cars I grew up with a million years ago are worth $100,000 now, which makes no sense at all. But I think that's where you're going with everything. And I think new DJs coming into this, if they're making money as a DJ, they want a controller that's compact and lightweight and versatile.
Right.
If they're a DJ as a DJ, they're interested in vinyl. And that's something that we have no intention of not supporting moving forward, because that's the art of what we are. We're a DJ company, and DJs come from vinyl.
Right.
And we're not willing to forget our past or our history by just saying, no, everyone go over here. That's not who we are. We support DJs on every level. And that's why it's important for something like, vinyl. I remember when we discussed the PLX 1000 and everyone said vinyl, we're going to make turntables. And I mean, just the look in DJ's eyes at different trade shows, they were so happy. It was like seeing an old friend come back.
Right. I mean, there's nothing worse than being forced to adopt a new technology. Like theoretically, I could still spin vinyl if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Just strictly vinyl if I wanted to. But with the exception of some manufacturers not making vinyl, but
yeah,
or record companies, whatever, not making vinyl. But I can still, I play mostly old school. So anyway,
I mean, Bad Boy Bill did vinyl tour last year with Humpty Vision.
Yeah.
They just played vinyl.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that more and more. Jazzy Jeff just did a set just vinyl.
Yeah. All
people
45. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get sad sometimes when I talk with DJs who are business and they don't want to talk about, old school DJs or where we started or what we come from.
Mm.
And, that's the passion. That's the excitement. I stood in Miami. People say, like, who's the best DJ? And you really can't answer that because everyone's different. It's like saying, who's the best artist? Well, you like this artist and I like that artist.
Right.
It doesn't make one better than the other. But I was in Miami years ago, and 3 of us went to a gay club and watched Danny Tenaglia, who at the time was maybe 53. He played from 10 p.m. till 10 a.m. We were there for probably 4 hours, and none of us could tell when his mixes were happening. And he was doing vinyl. He was using Tractor, I think, but he was doing it on vinyl.
Wow.
And it was the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen. We just kept going, like, did you hear the mix? No, is this a new song? Like, I've never seen anybody so fluid. But those moments of watching an artist perform. And I think that's why, you see vinyl coming back the way it is. People understand sometimes you got to build a statue with clay, not with a big truck.
Right.
And that's what, at the core of our company, that's where we started. We started back in those days, and we're not willing to forget our past or who we are to change the future. We embrace DJs and the art of being a DJ.
All right. Very good. Very good. So if you don't mind me asking, I don't want to take up everybody's time, but how did you, do you actually work for Pioneer, or you?
The way it works is that
you said you're a gigging DJ, but.
Right. It'll help the answer. So just real quick backstory. 2001, 2002, I wanted to buy a mixer. I was running a yacht company, multi-op, in San Diego Bay. So I had about 10 DJs working for me, but I knew I was going to break off and do my own thing. And I started researching, and I found out that the best mixer that I could buy for a mobile DJ was a Pioneer DJ M3000. So I started looking online for information and found that Pioneer had a forum. So I joined it, started asking questions, started watching videos, started adding content. Back when forums were like this, where people just chit-chatted, it wasn't all technical. And about a year later, won a contest for posting photos of famous DJs. They said, where do you live? I'm like, I live in Santee at the time, in San Diego. oh, we're in Long Beach. Why don't you come up and have lunch? We'll give you your prize. I won a CDJ. Went up, met them. We got along really well at the time. I was working as a crisis interventionist with the San Diego Police Department. I was DJing full time, just had a child, bought a house, you know, the story.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you want to be a moderator on our forum? I'm like, sure. And then the head of marketing now for promo only, Nick Hahn, said, you know what? Let's bring you in and do shows. You know all the gear, and we'll bring you to the NAMM show. This is 2005. And ever since then, they bring me to all these shows. I'm an independent contractor. I'm not technically an employee, but because of where I live and my information and knowledge in the industry, they use me as a product demonstrator. I do trainings. I do tours with Guitar Center. I've done 16 DJ expos. I've done 17 mobile beats. You know, anywhere they need me to go. I was in, Russellville, Arkansas a year ago dealing with something. I was in Duluth, Georgia last March. I mean, I go everywhere. So I think it's more just that I'm one of you guys. So it makes more sense to bring me out than to bring somebody out that's maybe not a DJ. Because not everybody with every company does that job,
Right.
you know?
Gotcha.
So I've been with them. There's another guy, Christian, this guy, Pulse. He runs our forum. And, the two of us have done shows together for like literally 15 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, thanks. I appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, this is fun for me. This is like, I talk to people that do what I do for a living, and it's like a family thing with me, and we're all in this together, sort of trying to move forward and just be good at what we do.
Cool.
So I'm happier about being here than you guys might be.
Well, we really appreciate
Until the tough questions start, and then my computer's going to be like, it says unstable. I don't know what's going on.
Well, we got the next DJ. I want to hit him before he walks back in the building because he's actually at work.
Is he driving?
Good. He says he's good. He's just hanging out.
Oh,
And that
cool.
was said, that was big said, but he said he's just hanging out. He's good. So we're going to go ahead and move over to Swerve Hits because he's at work right now. And I know he has to get back to the kids. And he's out of New York.
Oh, nice.
Jay,
We're in New York.
I'm from the Bronx,
Oh, nice.
but
Yeah, I can't go there now. You guys won't let me in.
what are you talking about?
Like, if I show up, I got to quarantine for 14 days. I'm on the New York hit list. Cuomo said California. You show up, 14 days.
Oh yeah. Well, because
For a $2,000 fine.
we had a low. We was at the highest, so we low. Just the other day, no deaths.
Good.
So we really low. Very shocking and surprised, but I'm glad that's what it is. But yeah, I'm like Square and I said, I'm at work. I run a program here. I work with kids, and I have met you in at the expo.
Oh, awesome.
I've been there for the past 3 years straight, and I have seen you before. But yeah, right in front of me, which is part of the program, when I show the kids,
Nice.
SP3.
Yep.
I'll be showing them, how to DJ off that, and my own one as well in the crib, and I also have an S9. So one of the things I have been speaking with some of my compadres about on the S9 is one of the things, a lot of us record, online, and, we have to hook up through the booth. But I was like, one thing I had a little problem with, I think it's two things, but one of the things was, why not have on there? I'm like, man, why don't have like a aux out in or a session out in, with that? Because let's say if you be in a club, so of course you're using your main and you using your booth because you're in a booth. And let's say you want to record yourself and you want to, whether you're using it straight to your phone or whatever device, you don't have no way of getting that direct audio to your audience. And now that we're moving into space, we might as well accept it. We're moving into space of doing virtual. That's going to be, we've been doing it for a while, but now it's becoming a thing. So a lot of us are doing parties and whatnots through virtual DJing. So now I feel that I think mixers, all mixers, even controllers, should have other sources where we can plug in without disconnecting our booth or using, something else.
I know with the XZ, which has a similar output section to the S9, when I do Twitch, I like technology, but I'm not that guy. I'm not like, I got my first laptop to do DJing in 2011. So I came in late. So I'm not, iRigs and sound cards and all that. I literally have a $5 RCA to Mini that I use into my MacBook. And that's how I do all my send to Twitch, Facebook Live. And so far it's been good. But this caught us off guard as far as making a separate digital output, because I think that's ultimately where we'll end up. We have the Rec app, but it works through USB Connect. So it's working with the 10, the Tour, the 900, the 750. The S9, it wasn't something that we sort of were thinking 5 years ago. I think you're going to see a change in the future on that. I also think people are probably working on some sort of an external sound card for DJs that will integrate into like the RCA master out, and then somehow break a function in with going digital for different record out sessions.
Right.
But sadly for right now, that technology wasn't looking at that situation when it was introduced.
Right.
So you're going to find moving forward that that's where we're going to end up. Have you tried running the master RCAs out as far as getting the signal in for like recording in Audacity or doing a Twitch signal or even Facebook Live or something?
Well, I run it through I use Booth to run it out. That way, I have that if my master, I can control it. Sometimes I might be doing a set really late at night and I live in a building, you know what I'm saying? So of course I can't play it mad loud. So
Right.
I probably have my master low, enough so I can hear it, but the audience, they hearing it at this full volume. Basically, having everything being independent. One other question I had is kind of what one of the other guys talking about the updates. I know it's a MIDI map for it, but with the S9, do y'all think y'all might or may do independent with the pads?
As far as being able to do like hot cue on left and sample on right?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I don't have a solid answer for that. The fact that it's still doing it as a single tells me that it's probably more of a hardware issue than it is a firmware update. And that was brought out, as we've been moving forward with that, asking DJs what they would want. That's certainly something that's come up. It's something that I think down the road you'll see, but you may see it in a different model. But I'm not going to say, yes, that's going to happen, because I can't say that right now. But I know that would be a great asset. I think that's where something like the XP that came out, the DDJ XP2 that now does Serato Record Box, something like that kind of expands upon that. Yeah, now you've got like 8,000 buttons in front of you and it looks like some old school computer thing, but you're getting a record box license, and I think you get DVS with it. So even if you're not into record box, it's something you could pick up and still have those things in the pipeline for later, or work it out with another DJ, but that would be your quick fix now.
Okay. All right, then, man. I guess I'll be seeing you out in the field when things open up.
I hope so, man. We'll get a drink.
Yeah.
Always up. Scores isn't there anymore. I'm bummed about that.
Yeah. I know that they haven't. They pushed it back to November, so I don't know if that's on or not.
You know what? I'm hopeful. My sister lives in Manhattan, so I get all the New York updates, and my cousin lives in Atlantic City, and they opened casinos like last Thursday with no smoking, no drinking, and no food.
I think we on phase 4 as of today.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome then.
Well, yeah, I think it's the 15th, so I think we in the next phase.
I mean, hopefully it stays that way. And by November, I mean, I love going to the shore. I love going to Philly. I love going to New York, and family in Rhode Island. I can't go anywhere. I literally can't get on a plane and go visit anyone because in New York it's 14-day quarantine and a $2,000 fine if you break it, and then they'll bring you back to court.
Wow.
Like that's what I heard. Yeah.
Well.
So I mean, we live in interesting times.
I think the other states need to take a record book out of what's happening here.
California, as usual, we locked down quick, but we didn't lock down enough. And then people started going nuts, and then people were like, yeah, let's go crazy. And it was too much too fast. And now we're going backwards. We're like literally, they opened the bars, hairstyle, nails, all that, the gym. 3 weeks later, they're all closed again. People can't survive this way. That's the tough part. I mean,
yeah, this pandemic definitely has us in a whirlwind of right now where we can't do anything. So, but we just have to keep hoping and praying and pushing forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best we can
All
do.
right, Jay, man. It's nice talking to you.
You too, man. Hopefully we'll see each other in November.
Yeah,
Got it.
definitely. I'm about to get out of here, go from work, head home. But thanks, man. Thanks for talking.
Got it, man. Appreciate you hanging.
Cool beans. Now we got the next DJ. He's seen you multiple times as well. My man, DJ Joe Storm. What's up, my man?
Hey, can that guy Coleman mute his
Excuse
phone?
me, if y'all not on, can y'all please mute y'all mics, please? I appreciate it.
Jay, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. What's going on?
Mute your mic, sir. Joe, mute your mic, please.
I got it. No, Joe is coming on.
I thought it was Michael.
No, Joe.
Okay, all right.
Okay, all right. I've been to 2 DJ expos so
Nice.
far. I've met you. You're definitely a great presenter as far as the equipment.
Thank you.
I've owned different equipment from Pioneer. I've owned the S9. I had the Pioneer 100S, 200S,
Ooh,
800 MK2.
nice.
I've had, different stuff from Pioneer. So Pioneer definitely has a strong name in the DJ game, and really ain't got no questions and stuff like that. Because pretty much a lot of things has already been answered, And then I know it's crazy times, so you just gotta be patient and just see what happens. I'm just looking forward to see what happens in the future as far as the Pioneer brand, and I hope. One thing I'm hoping, and you pretty much answered that about the stackable effects. I'm hoping that the next mixer or next piece of equipment that comes to light, and S9 is definitely a classic, iconic mixer. I think the one mixer before that y'all made that was like ahead of its time was the 909.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, so. Yeah, like I said, I look forward to seeing what happens in the future. And I appreciate you coming on the call.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I don't think you'd be disappointed.
Cool beans. So our next DJ, this brother here, I call him the Go-Go Maestro. And this is DJ Mike L. DJ Mike L. What's up, my man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
This DJ Michael out of Maryland.
Oh, nice.
I just had well, I ain't gonna say a question. I'm gonna just say I was thinking about the S9, but I think I'm gonna go straight to the 70. So I'm a turntable DJ and a controller DJ. So do you think I should get the S9 first, or just do what I'm doing, going straight to the 70?
You know, everyone, I haven't messed with the 70 at all. I saw it at NAMM. I don't know enough about the feature set on it, but you know, the 72 came out and looked really good. And it looked like they took an S9 and a 909 and kind of pushed it all together. And you know, that's the name of the game. We're in a game where it's technology, and you know, if something worked before, make it work again. I mean, the PLX 1000, it's a turntable. And what was the biggest complaint with Techniques? You had to go in and solder. So we just made everything detachable. And that people were like thrilled. They didn't have to worry about things breaking and all that. You know, I think if you, my logic with gear has always been, if you need gear to do your living, you get gear when you need it. If you don't need to get gear to do a job, you know, as we move forward this year, we're going to get towards the holidays. Usually towards the holidays is when gear starts to get released. You know, we should be at Expo next month, and going to Expo, just about every year we bring new gear to Expo. So since there's no Expo, I'm not saying we're going to launch new gear, but if we were, it might get launched later in the year. So if you don't have to get a mixer now, I'd probably wait a little while.
Well, I feel you on that. And then, like, I'm a good judgment at that too, because I like my controllers. I still got a SB2 and a SR2, and they do like basically everything I need. Like, I feel like I done saved a lot of money as far as not jumping out there, but I just don't like big controllers.
I'll be honest with you. I did a show in New York, DJ Con. I think DJ Con like 2-3 years ago. And we just launched the SR2. And I used that to do a demo room with express speakers. I think for the money, that's probably one of the best controllers we have. That thing does everything. We had Jazzy J was there. He jumped on it. He did the launch for the SX with me in Hollywood in 2012. So we go back a ways. I'm like, give me your opinion. He's like, it's fine. No problem. And it's what, $600?
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, XLR outputs.
Right.
Controller. If you're not, even if you can still control 4 decks, but if you
Correct.
can get away with one mic, like there's nothing missing on that. Booth
Exactly.
out, XLR out, one mic, platters light up depending on which deck you're on.
Right.
1 and 2, 3 and 4.
It's built pretty tight. It's built pretty tight.
Yeah, it is. That's a really good unit. I was really surprised because I was an SX2 user, and then I used the SR2 for the day or for 2 days in New York. I thought it was great. I really did. It's a great piece.
Right. Okay. Cool. That's all I had.
Yeah. I mean, if it came down to that of the SX and it was a money issue, you're fine with the SR2.
Yeah. I mean, I had thought about getting the SRT, but you know, I got the money to get whatever. But it's just I'm comfortable with what I got.
You know what? I used to keep the same gear. I used 1000 Mark IIs with a 3000 mixer, and then I bought a 600 mixer in 2004. I used the same rig until 2011. So 7 years, same gear, in a coffin, every wedding, every gig, and it worked perfect.
Right.
No CDs, no drives, no laptops, nothing broke.
Right.
Everything was great. And then I got a controller. I got the S1. Used Serato Itch. Didn't like it when the players were on the bottom of the screen and then the was on top. Didn't like that at all. And then they switched it, and I liked it. And then somebody turned me on to Scratch Live, and I thought that was good.
Right.
This sounds crazy coming from somebody that works for a manufacturer. I think you should get the gear you want and need.
Right.
Not just because it's new. Like the 1000 SRT is great because it does everything that my SX did, but it doesn't, I don't lose 2 channels because I have 2 independent mics. And I like the effects, and I like the platters, and I love the display. So those things matter. But if you said I have to go do a gig tomorrow with an SR2 or an SX2, even an S1, I'd be fine.
Right.
I got my Serato, I got my hard drive, I'm good to go.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So I think
And-
you kind of move into the gear that's going to make your life and job better.
Right.
It's new, I got to buy it.
And it keeps me efficient, so I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, plus, as you go up in size and gear, when I carried the SZ, if any of you guys have an SZ, and actually the turntable guys, I don't know how you guys do it. I never traveled with turntables. Man, the SZ in a case is like 80 pounds.
That's all I used to do with my technique.
Yeah.
It's insane. And like
Right.
2 turntables and a mixer in a coffin.
Mm.
Uh,
100
need a
pounds,
little
isn't
boy
it?
to
I use the cart, and I have my stuff all separate.
Yeah, I have 3 cases.
Yeah. Because otherwise, forget it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, that you pick up something like that SR2, you put it in a bag. I mean, the bag's only going to be like that big.
Mm.
Right.
Put it over your shoulder, walk in, plug in, done.
Because it's like everybody, you want to go lighter now. You don't want to go heavy no more.
Right.
Yeah, no. We're not 21 anymore. I don't need to be proving something by carrying 200 pounds of gear.
I feel
I had
you
a
on
buddy
that.
who used to have QSC HPR 15s, 99 pounds, 15-inch wooden box, 99. I'm like, why? It's like, oh, the resonance, the sound. I'm like, you actually pick those up? You weigh like $150. He's like, and then I saw him at a gig. He was laying them on the ground, putting the speaker stand on the ground, putting it in the bottom of the speaker, and then lifting it up and walking it. I'm like, ha ha.
Mm-hmm.
Art.
Yeah. So our next DJ, DJ Silent Professor. What's up, SP?
Hey, what's going on, DJJ?
How you doing, sir?
Not bad at all. Just chilling. Hope you staying safe during this whole thing.
Doing my best, wearing the mask.
So I have one question. Like you said, you can answer what you can answer, and you
Sure.
know you can't what you can't. Is there like any talks for going for, like you said, you want to go something lightweight? Like I'm a Pioneer and Newmark, DJ, so I can pretty much use either one. But I know they have like a smaller product, like their smallest one is probably the size of like a paper towel roll, like the DJ to go to. Is there any like talks of developing something like that on like the Pioneer platform?
It's been mentioned. I pointed that out to some engineers who'd never seen it. I think either at Expo or NAMM, one of the shows. And I was like, we have to make this. We have to add a mic. If it didn't have a mic, we have to make it a little more pro, make it the size, like the same length as a laptop. But as far as are they going to do it, I can't say. But I'd love them to, because I think that's probably the best backup piece you could spend $80 on and just throw in your backpack.
Yes.
I mean, there's a company, super, super cool guy, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember his DJ name, but he's like DMC champion out of.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
I think it's Hijinks.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to hang with him and his crew at Mile High DJ. And it was mile high. Like seriously, I was like, I'm just doing a demo. And like literally everyone keeps walking outside. I'm like, where's everyone going? And the door opens and it just wafts in. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And they had it. And one of his boys got on it. Dude was tearing it up on that thing. I'm like, you're kidding, right? He goes, no. He goes, we love this thing. He goes, you put it between your controller and your laptop just as backup. I'm like, that's brilliant. I love that. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll mention it to them again because I agree with you. I think it would be a great thing to have with a Pioneer tag on it. I'd like to see it come out of a mixer or out of a controller. Have it built into the bottom or something. So if something goes south, you can pull that out, do a ceremony, and then put it back in. Like a
That would be dope.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty cool idea.
Yeah. See, this is a DJ mind. See, these are DJs here. This is what I'm talking about. Like
Cool.
All right, and two more questions, and that's it for me. Best set of headphones, in your opinion, from your lineup from Pioneer, and second part of that is, I know you guys do have a starter set, like on your lineup. Are you going to stay with just that one, or is it just going to, kind of trickle out, or is that not even in like the play, in play right now?
For starter on Rekordbox, the DDJ 400, and for starter on Serato, it's the DDJ SB3. And it's the third in the line. We had an SB1, a 2, and now a 3. I don't think there's much they could do to change that. I know Newmark just came out with their, I think it's the Mix Tracks Pro and Mix Tracks, and they look pretty cool. So we might take the SB 400 line and maybe add something to it. But as just a starter 249 piece, there's a lot of guys that are using that because they don't want to ship the bigger pieces. So I don't. The only other starter piece we have is the DDJ 200, which is a 149 Bluetooth, really small controller that you can use on your phone or you can use with Rekordbox, but it doesn't have an audio out. It just has power from a USB cable because it actually sends it's controlled by Bluetooth from your phone or iPad. So that's kind of a cool little starter piece. Headphone wise, I'll be honest, I've always gone for the 1000, the 2000, and now the X10 because the drivers are 68 millimeters. So they're this big versus this big. I don't have, like if you look at our old 1500s, the drivers are like this versus the 2000s, the drivers are like that. The larger the space, the lower the volume. So you're not pushing as much volume through it. So for me personally, when I used to use like Sony 700s, I had to turn them up a lot more than I did on the larger ones. And I've got a pair in my office I got in 2010, 2011. I mean, they're fine. They're the 1000s. Then I have a pair of 2000s. I keep them in my backpack. But they're always just thrown in a bag. And I've just had I've had good luck with them because they're pretty durable and they'll pretty much do anything you want. But I always try to buy the best you can afford as far as the size. It's not a contest with me about how they look. It's how they feel and sound. Because I don't need to go deaf. I mean, this is the most important gift we have with DJing is your hearing.
Right.
And I wouldn't want to lose it over a $50 decision. So I'm always a fan of the X10s or the 2000s. Just something with a big driver so you're not turning it up.
All right, X10 is. Thank you, sir.
You got it. My pleasure. Thank you.
Cool beans. Now our next DJ, I'm gonna go ahead on and pull him in. DJ Big Dooley, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Jay?
Good, sir. How are you?
All right. I don't have a question. I'm just glad to meet you.
Me too. I appreciate you hanging out. I really do.
Appreciate it.
All right, and then we got DJ.
This is a super cool room.
We got DJ I95.
Hello, Jay. Hello, Jay.
How are you?
Good. I got 3 questions.
Okay.
With competition with Rain, are y'all coming out with another mixer besides the S9?
We have the S9 is like with all of our models.
Mm-hmm.
We have new versions that we're always working on. I can't give any dates as to a release or specifically like, yes, this is going to be replaced, but it's always a safe bet that we're working on new things. This year with the with COVID, it's thrown everything, in a tailspin. Normally we get really excited. You look at something like Expo. We launched the 1000 SRT last year at Expo. We launched the DJM T1 a few years ago at Expo. We launched the S9 at Expo a few years ago. We launched the RZX at Expo. Expo, NAMM, and October to December are big times of the year for all manufacturers. So I would just kind of pay attention towards the end of the year and see sort of what shakes out. That's like the best I can say. But like I said, we're always, once a product is released, we begin work on the next update of it, because we immediately start getting feedback and DJs say, this is great, but, could you do this? And they make notes. And it's a process, I wish it was like that, but it's just not. And having a competitor like Rain, who has got a long history of making some amazing pieces, I think that benefits all of us, because as they do something, you've got to look at it and say, okay, that's a great move. Let's do this and make it better. So we all win.
All right. The next question is, like Serato, will Rekordbox come out with like a producer software?
That one I can say we're talking about it. We're looking into something like that. You mean like the Serato Studio?
Yes.
We're looking into that. We have our Torize line. So we have a production line as well. And I think we're kind of looking at those two and saying, is this something that the industry wants? Because when we talk to a lot of, 10 years ago, you were a DJ who did production, and now you're a producer who DJs. Like, I'm the only one I know that's not a producer. So I think there's a lot of, what is everyone using? If everyone stuck in Ableton, is there room for something? DJs have, I think it would be great if it might be something down the road that you get to see.
Okay. And the last and final question, any new updates, or is it going to get discontinued? The DDJ-SZ.
I can't say that it is going to get discontinued, and I don't, when the one came out, I think it really took people by surprise, because the market wasn't expecting it. And I don't think they knew they wanted it till they saw it. And I know New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, Connecticut, like a lot of the Northeast jumped all over it, because they were buying CDJs and DJMs to have Serato DJs come in. And they suddenly saw, wow, I can just get a Serato controller that's the same size. So for part 3, if we release a part 3, I think there's a few things people want that didn't come on part 2. So, I think I would like to see another one, because I really like the SC. I think it's a great unit. And I think, now with the XZ and the 1000 SRT and the 1000, it makes, you have to see, would you, if I gave you the option of a 1000 SRT or a new SZ for Serato, which would you pick?
The SZ. I played around.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of DJs like that. So that, knowing that, I think, you can still see something down the road in that.
Okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. And then we have a couple more DJs that popped in. We got DJ Miss Official. I don't know if she is, because I see her photo, but I don't see if she's ready. Miss Official, are you there? Okay. While she is, maybe she'll come back. Let's get DJ Travis Gales. DJ Travis Gales came in, and then after that we got DJ Baby G. DJ Travis Gales. We got DJ J from Pioneer.
My brothers, how y'all doing?
Can you hear us?
How y'all feel today?
All right.
How's it going?
You got any questions?
Let me turn music down. How y'all doing today?
All right. You got any questions for Jay?
Well, I just tuned in, so I don't even know what questions to ask. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, did you have
Yeah, I
anything
mean,
pertaining to Pioneer DJ that was like pressing on you that you just want to ask? And if they've been answered, I'm quite sure we'll address that.
I just plugged in, man. I don't even know what the subject matter is or what even the discussion is about. So I do apologize for
No
being
problem.
late or not on time. So I'm not even sure who the guest is. I just saw that it was something going on and I just jumped in. So let me catch up and then I'll join in once I got a question or two. All right.
No problem. No problem. So now we got DJ Baby G.
Okay.
He popped in for a little bit. And I know he's a tech guy like myself. I'm a technology guy for 31 years, and this guy's probably been there just as long. What you got, Baby G? What's up?
Greetings, family. Greetings. How everybody doing? Jay, salute.
Thank you.
Salute to you and your organization.
Thank you.
Pioneer. Square Knot hit it on the head. I am a tech guy, so let's go straight to software. Beta testing of Rekordbox. Database support. From what I've been seeing so far, using Rekordbox when it was for CDJs, it was a one-part database, which
Yes.
made it kind of sluggish. Are y'all thinking about modifying the database to where it's a two-part database where it stores part of the analytics and a secondary file so it'll move a little bit faster?
What we've expanded initially you were stuck with just the one database.
Uh-huh.
So what we've now done with 6 is, depending on the plan, you now have the option of working your way up to a cloud sync. So you can have your files all in the cloud and then pull them between your phone and your computer, and it will all sync up. Outside of that, you still now, which some people aren't aware of, if you have external hard drive, you can move the database to the drive and then move that external hard drive to different computers. You can also take the database and put 2 users on it now.
Okay.
So
Next.
that's something that we are looking to keep expanding, because I know that was something initially that was a complaint.
Okay. Moving forward to that. So I'm an open format DJ. I carry 5 terabytes of internal storage of music and video. How does Rekordbox handle something like that?
Pretty much the same way, if it's all analyzed in Rekordbox, the same way Serato would. As far as if you've analyzed it in Rekordbox, it's there.
Okay.
You have an internal 5 terabyte drive?
No, I have a 2 terabyte SSD, a 1 terabyte SSD, and I'm getting ready to install a 4 terabyte SSD.
Damn. Are they Samsungs?
No, they're app datas.
How are those?
Amazing. I test them for the federal government because I do computer work for the federal government. And I get to test and play with a lot of hardware because we have to build systems for tactical units and tactical configurations that have to take a beating. And Bangmasan are good for consumers, but they're not too good for soldiers.
Right, right. And what's the name of these again?
App data. Alpha Delta Alpha Tango Alpha. App data.
Okay.
Very good. They have amazing read writes. They make M.2s as well as 2.5s.
Okay.
So they've been out for over. Been since the start of SSDs. They've been around a long time. They used to be an OEM manufacturer for other companies. A lot of people didn't know it. So, as far as beta testers, being a tech guy and beta tested for several companies, how do people apply to be beta testers for you all, or product specialists?
As far as beta testing for Rekordbox goes, we do it in cycles as we do updates. If you go to our Pioneer DJ forums, there's a section for Rekordbox beta. You can actually kind of just like throw your name in the hat there.
Okay.
You know, and it wasn't a public beta for a long time, and we've really pushed to make it more public. So we're bringing people in all the time. And it sounds like you'd be a good candidate because you're probably used to reporting back.
Yeah. Non-disclosure statements, report backs, automated, unautomated reports. editing of the log files and dropping them off. Yeah, I know about all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Next question I got for you. Studio quality audio interfaces, class compliant moving forward. Is Pioneer going that route also?
Class compliant wise, we are, but as far as studio quality as far as sound cards are concerned, or?
Yes, the audio cards that are in your controllers, mixers, y'all gonna do 24-bit 96K, 48 up to 44, 44.116 is the standard for stereo. Are y'all going any higher than that?
I don't know if we're going higher than that. I know that we tend to, and I think this is true with all manufacturers, you tend to get the level of response at the level of quality, meaning an SB3 sound card is not going to be on par with a DDJ 1000, which might not be on par with a Tour 1.
Right.
So as you go up, the Tour 1 does high res audio. The Tour 1 is 6,000 for the mixer and 5,000 for the player.
Yeah, I know.
And we designed that strictly for high res. We did beta testing on that, and the problem we ran into was I didn't know where to find high res audio. So I ended up having producers have to send me files because, like, where are you going to find a high res file? Like, they don't exist. I'm showing up with wave files. I'm like, I got a wave. They're like, yeah, no.
Gotcha. Well, that's been one of the things I want to add in, Jay, because to be honest with you, I know we sent, in that recap, all the different things in the recap. I definitely, it looks like, man, you covered pretty much of it, in that list. Because, we talked about the S9 and, the question about something coming out that's going to be better or comparable to it. Controller standalone unit, Swerve hit that a little bit. Then we, been talking about Rekordbox a little bit. The other thing that we wanted to hit was the Rec app itself. And I know that some said that they wanted to find out if the S9 would be added along with other equipment when it came to that.
That'd have to be moving forward.
Okay.
Not presently.
Gotcha.
Again, moving forward, the integration of USB for apps on like the 900 Nexus 2 and the 750 and the Tour 1, we have an app called the RMX 1000.
Mm-hmm.
And that was initially where that went, also with the guidance that we'd also get to integrate external audio sources as well as record sources. But, 6 months ago, nobody was asking me about the Rec app.
Gotcha.
And now with everything going on, the Rec app's become this hot item along with iRigs and audio interface sound cards that are pushing out to Twitch and, so we're trying to keep up with that, but we can't make something happen that doesn't naturally occur.
Gotcha.
I think moving forward, you'll probably see that on our higher end models, something like an S9.
Gotcha. So, wow, this has been great. You've really answered all this stuff. I hope we've given you something. Pretty much you've answered most of it, but hopefully there was something that you'll be able to kind of talk to the team about when you go back. For sure.
Yeah, that's the benefit to everybody. I mean, I'm old school about this. This isn't, like I said earlier, there's no such, to me, there are great DJs like there are great artists.
Right.
I've never been, pioneer DJ, like, so what?
Right.
Like, I'm a DJ, but I work with this company.
Right.
I don't care if you buy Gemini gear. I don't care if you buy gear that doesn't even have a name on it. If you're out working, playing music for people and they're happy, you're a DJ.
Gotcha.
Like, that's your gig. And, I think Pioneer DJ has always been very notorious for being in the kind of upper club thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a mobile DJ. Like, I got guys that, I can't remember who it was, I apologize, but somebody's, still got the 1000S.
Mm-hmm.
There are guys in, different parts of the world still gigging with 1000S. Those things are going on 20 years old.
Yeah. Hey, I always say, whatever works, if it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I love hearing what DJs are doing because it's only going to help me as a DJ and also the brand moving forward. I mean, I want us all to be unified. I say this in other meetings all the time. If everyone in this room, if every DJ in this world tomorrow morning said they charged $500 an hour for every gig, it would take 3 phone calls from a bride, a club owner, a bar mitzvah dad, or an anniversary and say, hey, remember we thought a DJ only costs like $400? No, they cost $500 an hour. Oh, okay. Then we have to re-budget.
Yep.
Like,
Hey,
you don't call Cadillac and say, how much for Escalade? 90 grand. You know what? I got 60. No, it's 90. Well, how much is it in Georgia? 90. What about LA? 90. How about Duluth? 90. Like I've dreamt of the day that DJs acted and performed professionally. And I got to be honest, the mobile DJs that I meet at Expo and Mobile Beat and NAMM, different shows, they know their stuff. They've got history. They love music. They're passionate. You know, that's who I want to be too. You know, I read a great thing yesterday. It said, you know, people retire, DJs don't, because you can't retire from what you love. You can't retire from who you are.
That's exactly it.
And I want us to have that kind of respect in the industry. And if we use good gear and we do good things and we're pros, there's no reason we don't get treated like that.
Exactly.
We're service, doctors, lawyers, plumbers, like service, do the best you can with what you have and always move forward. And that's Pioneer's goal with the actual DJ. We want you to move forward. Someday you go from an SB3, 5 years from now you're using a Nexus 2 system, rocking it on a, you know, New York City club, a Vegas club, Miami, whatever. You know, we want to be there to support both DJs.
Gotcha. So I think DJ Travis Gales, something popped into his head. So I'm gonna go ahead on and hit him up. What you got?
Okay, you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, great. I hope I hope I'm not asking a question that you hadn't already covered. But now I got an understanding of who you are, what this thing is about. I got a question for you. Is Pioneer planning to make any type of movable platter for any of their controllers, like the Newmark's Envy or the Rain 12?
It's something that, like anything in the market, with those products doing really well, it seems, and showing up in a lot of places, you know, I think for a long time, we would answer that question by saying no, because it wasn't something we thought made sense. But that was back when we didn't make a turntable. And I think, you know, nowadays the gear that we're going to manufacture is the gear that you're going to want. And when people come to us and start requesting that, if you go to our forums, pioneerdj.com/forums, or actually, let me get you the exact address. There's actually a product suggestion page there that anyone can go in and put any idea they have or anything they want. And if the engineers start seeing, you know, all these people coming in asking for moving platters, they have to look at it. Because again, it doesn't make sense for us not to make gear that you want. So I think moving forward, you know, I'm seeing them. I don't know who you guys follow on Facebook or Instagram, but there are a lot of DJs from like Jersey, New York, Carolinas, Virginia. I'm seeing a lot of guys popping up with these cool stands, and they'll have a couple of like Rain 12s and an S9 in them. And it's a good look, and I think they have a place. So I'll certainly make the suggestion again. The forums are just forums.pioneerdj.com. And again, you can go in there and make a product suggestion. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see moving platters. And I think enough people have asked for them that it's probably something that maybe down the road we could see.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the other thing. Oh, you got anything else, Travis?
No, I'm probably gonna follow up with anything that comparable to the phase. I didn't know if you might come out with your own version of the phase. That might be something that might be of interest as well. But you answered my question, so and that answer probably would.
Yeah, I don't think you're
I'll
going
let
to
you get back to you.
Gotcha.
I think phase is a great idea. And
Thanks
I
for
know
your comment. I appreciate you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Travis. I know a lot of people like phase, and I think when they came out, everyone jumped on it, and then it took like a year to get it out to market. And everyone I know that uses it seems to really like it, but there still seems to be, I mean, if we already make the turntable, I think making a phase for that, you might as well just make a turntable with no tone arm and just make it a moving platter.
Yeah.
Because it's redundant. The only thing with phase with me would be in the heat. And let me ask you guys, because again, I'm not, and I wasn't a full-time vinyl DJ. Is there special vinyl that's thicker for situations of being in heat? Like, I don't even know, does Serato or anyone make control vinyl that is more heat resistant than normal vinyl?
I've not seen any myself, and I'm not sure if any other DJs have, but I'm seeing some DJs shake their head no.
Okay, that would be something to manufacture, because you look at the whole West Coast in the summer. I mean, it's 94 degrees out right now. If I went outside to a gig, I'm gonna have a tough time unless I can keep in shade and fans and all that. But it'd be cool to have maybe a thicker piece of vinyl that's treated with something that still has grooves for tone with Serato.
Right.
I mean, if somebody here wants to go manufacture it, maybe buy me a beer if you see me or something. I'm just saying.
I'd say on that.
I mean, the only thing is like the rain joint. It's not actual vinyl. It's a different kind of material, but I'm sure under extensive heat that it will possibly give way. But that's the only thing that's kind of thicker than a vinyl and more heavy and hard. Got a little bit more weight to it.
Yeah.
And it got grooves. It got grooves on it. So that's the only thing I could say that's the closest. But I'm sure under extensive heat, it will eventually. I've never seen any WAP or anything on those particular things. But in the same token, you wouldn't want to have your equipment in anyway. You don't want to have your computer or anything.
Take a control out in the heat.
Yeah, I was gonna say the electronics are probably more of a problem than the actual vinyl.
Exactly.
Salute everyone.
Hey, just mute real quick. But yeah, most definitely. Yeah, you're right about that, Dave G. So,
why not?
One of the things that we have is in this group, and we've been doing it quite often. We actually did our second one, and we're going to be continuing to do it, is we have a DJ spin-a-thon where we have a bunch of DJs come on, they sign up to play, and we make a day of it. And Flash is the spearhead behind that, where we get the DJs to sign up. And the first time we did it, I think we had maybe 10 DJs, but only 6 or 8 showed. But then this last one, we had 20 show up. And out of that 20, 16 showed up. So Flash was literally sitting there watching 30-minute sets. So he spent almost 8 hours with DJs playing their sets. And it was beautiful. So out of that, one of the things that he had spoken to me about, and I think the rest of we have our own, what we call our executive team, which are our moderators, is that it would be great if there was something that we could give them also. And we didn't know if Pioneer DJ had some swag or something that we could possibly get to give them as gifts, just something else to represent, of course, Pioneer, but also, hey, they got it from DJ Information Group as well. So it's kind of a win-win situation there.
Yeah. You know what? I know we've got some stuff kicking around, but I'm not in a position to say, yes, we will give you this.
Okay.
But my boss, who is. So I would simply go right back to Hector.
Okay.
Because Hector has the keys to that closet. See, they don't give me the keys. Knock on the door and it's anyone in there? No? Okay. But Hector's got, I'm sure Hector could send some stuff your way for that.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, we support DJs being DJs, and this is that time when, you got to come up with something.
Yeah. And you know what? Hey,
Skills. Got to keep the skills.
we invite you to come back and play with us and vibe out with us, do some things.
I'd
We
love to.
definitely would love to have you here.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I'd love to.
just really have a good time, because like I always say, music is my therapy. And I
Yeah,
say
yeah.
one of the things about music is feel the beat. So it's definitely those two things right there. And being that it's universal, we know it's going to connect all of us.
Oh, yeah.
And I said there's only two things in this world that will connect all people, and that is music and food. Those are the only two things. Those two things for sure will do it across the board. And we
Every
are
time.
fortunate enough to be in the one that controls the spirit, and it controls the mind, it controls the body, and it controls how it makes us feel good, and just does something to us, so
Every show I've ever done, and most shows, I usually fly about 45,000 miles a year for Pioneer. And a lot of them are quick 1 or 2 day trips. And I go alone. So I show up somewhere, get to the airport, get a car, go to a hotel, then I go to a store. And I do a training, and then I'm done. And one of the things, because I'm all alone, I've always focused on a new city or place, food.
yeah,
Because food is who people are, and everyone loves their food.
right.
I went to a place called Russellville, Arkansas, which is 2 hours north of Little Rock.
Oh yeah.
Got up there, and I had it in my head, like, man, I'm in Arkansas. I'm going to get some crazy food out here. Like, I watch the Food Channel. There's going to be like, I could probably get possum, or I could probably get this. Like, this is going to be great. I get there, and I'm like, what do you guys have that's individual to you? They're like, we have Whataburger. I'm like, Whataburger? She's like, Whataburger. I'm like water, like Water? She's like, no, Whataburger. I'm like, oh. So I went and had Whataburger. No. But while I'm there, I noticed there's a bar, and this is a dry county. And I don't know if any of you live in a state with dry counties.
Mine was for a while.
Arkansas still has like a third of the state, it's illegal to drink. And that doesn't work for me. So I'm like, hey, are there any bars around here? And the guy at Whataburger comes out, no lies. The little white hat, the white t-shirt with the white apron, toothpick. What are you looking for? I said, just want to get a beer. He goes, go over the bridge, go to the hotel, go inside. There's a girl at the counter. Tell her you need Club Duval. Okay. She's going to point, go through the door, sign the book, go to the bar. Yeah, sure, whatever. I go across the bridge, go to the hotel, see a girl. I'm looking for Club Duval. She goes, says Eagle's Nest. Open the door, like 30 people. They stop what they're doing. They all turn around and look at me. I panic. I sign my real name. I go up. I have a drink. I'm in an illegal bar. 2018. So I go on Facebook. I'm like, hey, I'm in an illegal bar in Russellville, Arkansas. First guy comes in. He goes, go to the basement. You'll find the still. Next guy's like, grow a mustache in case a bare knuckles fight breaks out. I'm like, yeah, I guess it could. I mean, it's 2018, folks. I'm in an illegal bar.
Yeah.
But that was like, I apologize. I can't remember who's from Detroit. That's the thing. I go to Detroit. I'm like, Detroit, where am I supposed to go? Oh, I got to get a Coney dog. First night in Detroit, 1 a.m, walking alone through downtown Detroit, looking for a Coney dog. But see, that I can have that conversation about music and movement and a Coney dog.
Yes.
And now we have a conversation that can start.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Because, like you say, it's music or it's food.
Yep.
And it's what people are proud of. They're proud of their music.
Yep, that's
Detroit
exactly
reps
it.
techno. I don't know, like if anyone here is into techno music, but you go to Detroit, it doesn't matter who you are, you rep techno. And they rep hard.
Yes, indeed.
They don't mess around, but they're great people. Like everyone's super cool, but they love their techno, man.
Yeah, you are 100% right about that. Now, what I wanted to do before we let you go, because I know you probably know we kept you quite long, but we're going to be shifting into another interview in a little bit. But I wanted to introduce you to an artist that we have here. And the reason I want to do this is because you as from DJ to DJ. This is what something else we do. We hear an artist, we hear how the music is and everything. We definitely want to share that and let you know, hey, check it out. Check out this music and listen to her. Miss Ashley DeBose is on here with us right now. And she actually was on season 5 of The Voice.
Oh, no way.
So, and her project is truly, truly amazing. And you can visit her website. It's Ashley DeBose, DUBOSE,
Yep.
DUBOSE
Yep.
.com. And we're going to be interviewing her shortly, but I just wanted to make sure that you got a chance to meet her. She's on here, and I would say, and I would recommend that you take a listen to her music.
Absolutely.
Definitely the tracks there, especially being that you're a wedding DJ.
Yeah.
And especially, you know how it is with the cocktail hour and all of that. She got the bangers for that.
I mean, obviously, got to have some immense talent. She got on the voice. I mean, so much respect for that.
So Ashley, I introduce you to Jay Brannan from Pioneer DJ.
Yeah. Hey Jay, I heard everything. Thank you, DJ Square.
All right, see, let me unmute you. Unmute yourself real quick.
Oh, I said all of that. You guys didn't hear any of it. I said thank you so much, DJ Square Knot, for making the introduction and for that great introduction. And hello, Jay.
Hello,
I
Ashley.
heard everything.
You. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to check your stuff out. This is a great example of what I'm always saying to DJs about listening for things that not everyone has.
Yes.
Because, does everyone here know who Grammatics is?
I've heard of, I've seen it before. I've seen the name. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'm watching A-Track do a set, and I'm Shazamming him, like, every track. Like, to the point where I just put auto Shazam on. Next day, pick up Shazam, start listening. I ended up buying like a CD and a half's worth on iTunes of stuff that I could play during cocktail. And I do the same thing with samples. There's a great artist named Ronnie Foster. He has an album in '73 called Mystic Brew. Well, it's Kendrick Lamar samples. And you put it on and people are like, oh, I love this song. What is this? This is Kendrick. I'm like, no, it's actually the original. So finding new talent like this who I can play at a gig, and then have people go, who's this? Oh man, Ashley DuBose, check it out. Wow, I've never heard this. That to me makes me a better DJ.
Yes.
I get to expand upon where I am as a DJ. So yeah, I'm glad that I was able to meet you, and I'm definitely going to check your stuff out.
Cool.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You know what? If we do a launch down the road, why don't we look? I mean, I'd be happy to come back if we have new gear that comes out down the road. If you guys want to discuss it.
Or, most definitely. We definitely love to do that.
This is a great group. I mean, you guys should be proud of this organization. And
thank you.
Some great questions. Nobody was attacking, which I'm stoked on, because sometimes I get that, and other like, why don't you do this? It's like, again, not owner. You don't see owner.
Right.
Yeah, sure. I get it. But yeah, no, this is a great group. I'd love to come back down the road. And like I said, hit up Hector.
Like I say, we got enough DJs in here to where if Pioneer needed some beta testers or needed some equipment testers, believe me, I don't think not one of us in here would say no. We would definitely jump on board and give you extremely good feedback, very detailed feedback. You heard I-95, you heard DJ Baby G, all of us, in here, myself, Flash, we really, really dig into it. Swerve, all of us are in here. Several of us in here. Mike E, Silent Professor, Joe Storm, Mike L, DJ Dooley, Big Dooley said, definitely Dave G, all of us into technology the way we are. We would definitely help you out, no problem. And that's
I can tell by the questions.
Yeah.
This is a professional group. This isn't, messing around. This is like legit professional individuals who are, looking at things for down the road and have legitimate questions.
Yeah.
And nothing more, I love taking the time for this, because again, it makes me a better DJ when it's all done and over with, because I can get off this with you crack a cold one and check out Ashley's tracks, and my life's better for it.
Hey, I tell you what, that is the perfect thing, man. You'll sit back and you'll chill and you'll be sipping while you're doing it too, man.
No, I'm
telling you,
stoked.
those tracks, those are some serious bangers she got,
Yeah,
man.
no, I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Yes,
but yeah, thank you so much for having me on. And like I said,
indeed.
Down the road, if you hear of us doing anything and you've got my email.
Yes.
We're friends on Facebook. Hit me up.
We'll do.
We'll the track down fine. But yeah, everyone, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it, everybody.
All right. And
thanks for joining us.
I'm gonna close it out real quick.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say we had the man, Jay Brannan from DJ Pioneer.
That's it.
That's it, the DJ Information Group. And my man just dropped all kinds of good knowledge on us and answered all the questions. And we did a lot of things. We learned a lot today about what's to come, what was and what is and everything. So it's just been really good. We salute you, my man. And we are definitely going to stay in contact with you. And
cool.
Everything has just been truly, truly awesome with you. And we are looking forward to constant communication with you. So
absolutely.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brannan. Thank you much.
All right. You take care, man. And we got Ashley. She's going to be coming up next. Take care.
Stop recording, Square Knot.